With all the tax changes happening, a big one for many to consider applies to people who are divorced. Fox 4's Shannon Murray explores how the rules have changed and the potential impact on finances.
A new tax law is changing the rules of divorce. Cathy Dewitt Dunn is a certified divorce financial analyst. She has some advice. You have three big things that divorcing couples really need to know this year.
Absolutely. 2019, you no longer can have the tax deduction if you're paying alimony to your spouse, and that's a big change.
Right.
Because that also means that the receiving spouse is no longer going to be able to claim that as income, and that's going to impact everything, especially when it comes to, you know, if you're using that previously for income for car loans or for mortgages, etc., it's no longer considered income at all.
Well, and when you think about that person receiving the alimony, it might seem like it's a good thing for them when it comes to taxes, but not necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily. And I think one of the challenges going forward is that we do have, I have an example of what would happen. You know, if you have a spouse that's going to be receiving $100,000 in alimony each year, if the payer's in the 35% tax bracket previously, they would have had probably a $35,000 tax credit. But now the receiver of that alimony previously would have paid probably only $17,000 on that income. Now with this tax break being eliminated, Uncle Sam's going to be able to collect $35,000 from the payer, and that's a big difference. So the IRS definitely wants to get their money in full.
So what about when it comes to parents who are going through a divorce?
Well, I mean, that's a big challenge for parents. I mean, you have to take a look at the kids, and you have to take a look at what's going to happen with child support, etc. But I think the biggest thing is for a couple that's getting divorced, you then have to take a look at Social Security and what a court may enter in for an order for dividing the assets of a retirement account. There is a thing called a quadro, which is a qualified domestic relations order that will allow that account to be split up. And then if you've been married for more than 10 years, you may be also, and you haven't remarried, you can also claim Social Security benefits on your ex-spouse. There's a lot of things that you have to consider with the new tax laws in 2019. So that's why it's so important to sit down and figure it out with someone that's qualified to make some recommendations in the event that you are going through a divorce.
Well, and you mentioned retirement. What is really the impact that people will have on their accounts when they're looking at this if they are going through a divorce?
Yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, Texas is a community property state, so typically right off the bat you're taking a look at having that asset divided up 50%. So that's going to affect you later down the road if you're taking a look at retirement income. I have a chart on our website that'll kind of help you determine what you need to have for retirement income later down the road. But it's a big financial decision for people in 2019 when they're looking at getting a divorce. So you really need to sit down with a financial professional to work your personal scenario out to make sure that it's more tax advantaged for you.
All right, Cathy, thank you so much. And we will have a link to her website on our website. That's on fox4news.com.